every time. He makes a fool of himself right before we go live. All right. Well, girls, to another episode of Under the Dome, a very special episode because it is our 1-year anniversary, and training tomorrow or Thursday. I don't remember exactly what day it is, but that means football season is tomorrow. Football season is upon us. The rookies show up, and then I think in about a week and a half later, the veterans come in. With the first practices being the 19th, 20th, and 21st of July. So we now are on the eve of talking about football, having football in the news from now until February.
Anytime you see me dancing on camera in the first minute of the show, that's only a sign that it can go down.
Hey, I always look at Major League Baseball All-Star break as football's around the corner. Welcome, everyone. As if you don't know by now, my name is Alan Ulrich, and I'm here with my partner, Sean Woods. How you doing tonight, Sean?
Welcome to the Under the Dome Studios in lush West Monroe, Louisiana. I don't give recognition for nearly enough these days. But anyway, we want to obviously welcome everyone to the show. And, wow, 363 days ago. It doesn't seem like it's been quite that long. Until I sit back and start thinking about all the outlines. What are we going to talk about here? What are we going to do here? Who have we invited? Who do we want to invite? You know, the business, if you want to call it the business side of things. Yeah, it's been about 5 years, but we want to thank everyone that's been a part of this. First and foremost, our sponsors, the fan production guys, Joey Riolano, Tony Dunn, and Big Mel. We thank you guys so much for having faith and the trust in us to kind of give us enough to hang ourselves with. And thankfully, you trusted us and we gave you something that...
yeah, we gave you something. We gave you something, all right. Well, I missed my cue on this,
we want to invite everybody to subscribe to our show on iTunes and on YouTube as well. We, I think the last count was we had 113 subscribers on YouTube. We thank each and every one of those 113 people. And if you were knowledgeable enough to figure out a way to subscribe more than once, God bless you. We might do a job for you. We would be remiss at this point if we didn't thank a few key people. First and foremost, being the guy, Mr. John Pinto. I made a post on our earlier this week. People don't really have a clue as to exactly how much this guy does in terms of the week-to-week putting on of this show. And that's kind of the way he likes it. He just likes to be involved in it. He's never asked for a thing in return. To be philosophical, God's John Pinto to help me. And that's the way I look at it. He's a great friend. And John, we thank you from the bottom of our heart for being as big part of this thing as you have become. Also, I would like to extend a birthday wish to the Facebook guru, Mr. Joel Smith. His birthday is this coming Saturday. Everybody make sure and wish him a happy birthday. Alan, do you have any specifics you need to thank?
Late for an hour. I mean, if you can sit and listen to this voice for an hour, I'm impressed because I can't do it. I've tried watching the show, and I'm just like, oh man, shut up! I can't listen to you. So yes, I thank anybody who watches the show. Thank you for all the nice comments. Thank you for the insults. I appreciate them. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. No,
All right.
We've got a couple of guests.
We have some guests tonight. They have their own Saints podcast called the Saints. I knew I couldn't do it. Called the SaintsCraftRadio podcast. These guys are operating behind enemy lines from San Diego, California.
They don't have a franchise anymore. They're not behind enemy lines. They've got nothing there but beautiful beaches, expensive real estate, and a naval base.
Well, you know, from way over there to the left, we want to welcome the two hosts of the SaintsCraftRadio podcast, Mr. Rick Suarez and Toots. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Hi guys.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah, we're doing great.
We're enjoying the sea. We can feel the breeze, the California breeze, just coming in right now. So it's pretty nice. Still daylight. It's beautiful.
Torture me right now. What's the temperature like outside right now? Was it 72?
No, I think it's a little warmer. It's
like 73,
like 73, maybe 74.
Oh my God! And you know what it's like over here? It's 81 with like a 78% humidity. 78 to 79% humidity.
We got a little bit of humidity.
Yeah, it was like 49 humidity. It was pretty bad.
We had a little bit of humidity, but I can't imagine it's anything near what you guys are doing.
Oh God, dude, it's like a sweatbox.
You have no idea what humidity means. Come visit.
We've been there a couple of times.
We've been there, but we haven't got it too bad. So
every time that we go there, people say that we bring the California weather with us because it's always beautiful. It's always a beautiful time. So we really haven't felt that.
We haven't got any extremes yet.
I'm guessing you guys are really.
I think I need you guys here from October. That's the case. I've been to San Diego one time. And yeah, I could live there. I can't afford it.
We can't afford it either, but we live here anyway.
So, guys, if you would share with listeners a little history on who you guys are and what you guys present in terms of your show.
Yeah, definitely. Me and Toots, we've known each other since early 90s, 94, 95, right during high school.
Yeah, a long time. So we've always been wanting to do a podcast, and you know, luck would have it that my lifelong football team would up and leave my hometown city. So I became a Saints fan, and now we're doing a Saints podcast.
Yeah, I sent him this long text and I gave him a really detailed list of reasons why he should become a Saints fan.
It was a guilt trip,
and I think I persuaded him. I mean, he made the right choice. It was pretty easy. I shouldn't have had to write a list, but
yeah. So we have a little different angle here.
Yeah,
with Rick being a long time and me being a first year, a rookie, if you will, for as a Saints fan. I have him being my best friend. I know a little bit about the Saints and what they've been through, but it's usually me. I'm trying to rib him and give him grief, and so this is the first time we've been on the same side.
Yeah, in order to basically talk crap about each other's team, you got to be able to back it up. So his knowledge for the Saints, it's not like he's starting at zero and working his way up. He's built that already. And as for me, I've been a fan since early 90s. When Jim Everett, I think, came over from the Rams, that's where I really started. Jim Moore as a coach. And then from there on out, got old enough to buy a Sunday ticket. And then have watched every game since then.
I'll be honest with you. What was that?
That was a motorcycle. It was a very loud motorcycle.
Okay. All right.
I thought
a
it was in
musical
my
at
room.
that.
I was fixing to go.
Well, I was going to say, I actually became a Chargers fan in the early '80s
Okay.
because two of my favorite Saints players ended up going to the San Diego Chargers. Chuck Muncie in 1980 came to the Chargers, and then in '81 you got Wes Chandler.
Wes Chandler.
And Coryell offense, that '81 Chargers team was unbelievable, and to this day, that Dolphins-Chargers playoff game is still the greatest non-Saints football game I've ever seen in my life. I personally watched on television.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a great game.
So, watching that team play with Charlie Joyner, Wes Chandler, Kellen Winslow, Dan Fouts. That was just an incredibly fun team to watch them play. And then, of course, we paid back the Chargers by taking their quarterback, Drew Brees, and then we got one of y'all's best running backs with Darren Sproles briefly. So, kind of payback on that one.
Chargers have never been
the same concepts. We actually run a lot of what Don Coryell was running back in the early '80s. With if you watch a lot of what the Saints do, it's a basic concept that came from the Coryell offense.
Offensive powerhouse. Definitely.
So there is a good symmetry, a good relationship between the two franchises.
So we finally decided, after he became a Saints fan, we finally all right, let's start this podcast, and it's been we just finished recording our 3rd episode, and hoping to do a 4th pretty soon, and hopefully once the season starts, knocking them out every week.
At SaintsCraftRadio on iTunes, and just give us a listen.
Yeah, and then since we live in San Diego, there's a huge craft scene of craft beer. So while we're doing our episodes, we are also enjoying local beverages or just craft beer from here in San Diego and around the States, basically.
I'm lucky, yeah.
So cheers.
I see the book, and I'm gonna have to try some of that beer. I'd love to.
We will definitely send you some.
Keep that concept handy, because if the season goes south, that comes real handy.
Well, I mean, I've been a Saints fan for a while, so yeah. especially after this last season, it was tough.
Well, if you survive the Ditka years, you can survive anything. The Ditka years is about as close as you'll get to the John Meekum years, and any other time during the Benson era. Okay, so now less than a couple days away. What are you guys looking forward to see happen this year? I mean, obviously you want a winning season, but and the playoffs. But what specifically you guys think storylines of training camp?
Of training camp, how the defense is gonna shape up. I'm just really interested in that, the linebackers and the defensive backs, and seeing who's going to get playing time. Manti Te'o came over from the Chargers. He's had a little bit of injury concerns, but there's some leadership, and the theme that I've been seeing is leadership. AJ Klein, these veterans that do the right things and get the players around them to step up their game. And I think
it's that fresh blood.
Yeah, it's a fresh blood, and I think that's, to me, is going to be one of the big things to look at, is who's going to gel and who's going to get on the field together.
Yeah, for me, I think it's I think our team is getting younger, so it's kind of exciting. It's kind of we're nearing the end of Drew Brees' era, and eventually we'll have his successor. But in the meantime, our team all across the board is getting younger. So who's going to be stepping up as being those next leaders? And I think it's pretty exciting because that opportunity is there for people to step up and become leaders on this team and change the direction of where we've been for the past 3 years.
Sure, absolutely. Sean, you got a question?
Let me ask you this. Tomorrow is the day the rookies report, and they'll have the place to themselves for an entire week, and a week from tomorrow is when the veterans report. And you got an opinion. Who do you think are the rookies that have the most to gain from this extra week of practice? The rookies that you're looking to step in and make a difference this year.
Can I say all of them? I think the whole draft class, I think everyone's going to have an opportunity to actually find some playing time. So I think it's wide open from the first person to the last person that got drafted. I think they're all going to have an opportunity. If I'm going to pick one player, what I look at is what's our biggest need and who has the least expectation to succeed. So biggest gain for me, I feel like it's going to be pass rush, and we need a pass rusher. That's the biggest need. And I think that someone that just got drafted and is buried in the depth chart is going to be Trey Hendrickson. So no one's expecting him to start off from the beginning. You know, it should be Alex Okafor. It should be Kikaha if he's healthy. So if he could come in during training camp, during preseason, and actually make some plays, create some pressure on those quarterbacks, I think he has the most to gain, definitely.
Yeah. As for me, the guy that I've been on since he got drafted by the Saints is Ryan Ramczyk. You know, it was a luxury pick and it was a smart pick as opposed to other drafts that they didn't really pan out. And I think if you make the right decisions in the draft and the way you build your team, when injuries happens or when things that you don't expect happen, you're backed up because you've made the right decisions. And it goes to show with Ramczyk. So I think that week that he's there without the vets gives him time to catch up with the playbook and maybe because he's the key piece. If he can step into that left tackle role while Armstead is recovering, that's a huge benefit to the rest of the line. And if he can't step up there either by injury or because of his performance, that's going to cause a lot of people to have to rotate and switch positions. So to me, he's got the biggest amount to gain in that week where he can maybe just get involved, talk to the other players, to the coaches, and get up to speed.
Yeah, I think like Ramczyk, he's that type of player where we kind of see him as another Andreas Pete, where like, all right, he's another first round offensive line guy. He's not gonna, we might not be expecting him much, but like if he could actually come in and actually like contribute and take over a job where someone comes back healthy and you're like, no, this guy is kicking butt. Like this guy is so good, we can't allow to put him back in. And he's actually a starter. Let's keep playing him.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's a good analysis because here's one of the things you have to think about when you look at Pete's rookie year. Andres Pete played for Stanford. They're on the quarter system, and because of an old NFL rule going back to the '60s, players cannot participate in any of the off-season activities until they officially graduate or their class graduates. So Pete was kind of behind, the development stage because he couldn't participate in the OTAs, he couldn't participate in mini camp and all these other things. And circuit, so he put on an extra weight. So he came into training camp a little out of shape, and that kind of haunted him his whole rookie year, trying to get back into football shape. Ramczyk didn't have that problem. Now, Ramczyk did have
surgery
from, but he was actually there for the classroom work, and he was there for the actual OTA and mini camp and things like that, even though he didn't physically participate. And the mental part of the game is there for him. So I think that he comes in from day one and really challenges and wins that job, because if he doesn't win that job and you're stuck with, Khalif Barnes or the human cockroach, Bryce. No, I was going to say the human cockroach, Bryce Harris, because he never goes away. You can't get rid of him. If that's your choice right there, we'll never have Bryce Harris. We'll never have Bryce Harris as a guest on this show. But anyway,
I marked his name off the guest list.
But if you've got those two guys that are battling for the tackle job, you're going to have to talk about bringing Pete in back as the tackle. Now you bring Clemente in as guard, and you've got questions still at center because we don't know when Unger can come in and play. And that really throws off the whole balance of the offensive line. So I'm hoping that we're good with let Pete stay at guard, let Rand tackle, and then wait a little while for Unger to be ready, and hopefully for the Vikings game, bang, he's out the box, he's ready to go, he is the starting center, and your line is pretty much set. We're not playing musical chairs all the way through preseason. So that's an important that's a good point you guys made.
Yeah, I think I think Chris Watt is a big signing because he can play center in a pinch. He did it with the Chargers, and the thing I like about Ramczyk real quick is he's made that leap from Division III to Division I. Was a first team a Big Ten tackle, so he's made that leap. So I think that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and see if he can make that transition to the NFL.
Knowledge.
Yeah. I think that there's two aspects in terms of Ramczyk. I think there's two aspects that have to be looked at. Number one, from what all indications seem to be, Ramczyk was drafted to be the heir apparent to Street,
correct,
which is on the right side at tackle.
The ageless wonder.
If you go back into him at Wisconsin, you'll see that his natural position is on the left-hand side at tackle. Going down, no doubt, is a blow. And I'm not making light of that in any way whatsoever. But you have a young guy in Ramczyk that can plug into the position in his natural position.
Right.
Unlike what we saw with Andres Pete coming in and being bounced around from position to position, you have this guy that's going back to his natural college position of left tackle. Now, it's not ideal on the offensive line, which may very well be the hardest position on the field to transition into as a rookie. I have to start a rookie on the offensive line. But that being said, you have this young man going back to his natural position playing. But not only that, you have a window of months now that you have to prepare this guy for stepping into that role. So I don't think that it's doomsday and thing way that a lot of people are looking
not yet
to be.
And unfortunately, with Armstead, you kind of always have to have that plan B because you just can't stay healthy. So you need to have that just in case guy always ready to plug in there.
Yeah, exactly. He is a very talented left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the league, but he can't stay healthy, so it doesn't do you very much good. So basically what we're going to be looking at then is we're going to be looking at 4 rookies that have to contribute. I mean, obviously your overall first round pick, Marcus Lattimore, has to win that starting job opposite Delvin Breaux. We already talked about Ramczyk. He needs to come in and win that left tackle position. Marcus Williams, the safety, has to come in as that free safety, basically take over where Jarvis Byrd was and play that deep center field and get turnovers. And then the last one, in my opinion, that's important for this offense is Alvin Kamara. You need to have him to play that joker role that Darren Sproles Reggie Bush kind of role where he's good on special teams as a kick returner, and he's also good as your third down mismatch kind of back in a lot of passing formations. So, we're counting on 4 guys, and we haven't even mentioned Trey Hendrickson, the pass rusher, and we haven't mentioned Alex, Thor.
Any pass rushers.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, you've got the pass rusher mix to throw in. You guys talked about Okafor earlier, so we're really counting on this rookie class to contribute a lot.
All of them.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough sell because outside of the 2006 class, and even in the 2006 class, you went Reggie Bush and Marcus Colston, Roman Harper, but the other ones, Street doesn't really contribute heavily until later on in his career. It's hard to expect that many people to come in and have an impact, but we need them to.
They have an opportunity, that's for sure.
The opportunity is there. That's
yes.
the huge thing is that all of them can contribute. Will have the opportunity to contribute.
If they can produce, they'll have a chance and be able to get on the field.
They have to. You have to get these guys. They have to have an impact. We cannot have another. 1 or 2 guys can play in a rotational role, and that's really about it. The rest of it's really a veteran-laden team. No, you guys are dead on right. What we have seen since 2014 is an attempt by Peyton and Loomis to rebuild this club, and we have gotten very young. We've gotten this. We're doing this all around an aging Hall of Fame quarterback. So we're kind of, in some ways, wasting some of his best years, but it's how we're staying competitive.
Yes.
So we're building for the future.
Yes. Yes. So when it does become time to get a new quarterback to replace Breeze, hopefully he has a young, strong core. So when the quarterback comes in, he is stepping into a good team that's not going to expect him to be the savior. He's going to expect him to be just another piece in an offense or a piece in a football team.
In an established team, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Sean, you got a question?
I'm just listening, man. You guys.
Okay.
Like I said.
Well, it's funny because I can hear in the background people looking at this show, and they're going to be saying this when they watch it on replay. What about Adrian Peterson? You guys haven't talked about Adrian Peterson.
Does he chop liver?
Oh well,
yeah.
That's a good point. And then, okay, there's a lot of, and I'm going to step on a limb here, and I'm probably going to upset some people, but I've had enough Gatorade to that I can go ahead and break the news to you guys. If you look back over the recent history of the New Orleans Saints, one running back is not going to do it. Mark Ingram needs to be pushed. Don't get me wrong, and I know my man Rev is watching. I do absolutely respect whatsoever. Mark has worked his butt off to elevate his game to the point that it is now, to be that back New Orleans needs and not just worry about Mark Ingram himself. He has tried so hard and worked so hard towards becoming the back that the New Orleans Saints offense needed to have. Mark Ingram needs to be pushed. His most productive years have been the years when he had
Chris Ivory, Kyrie Robinson,
Hightower.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, this is going to end up on John Butler's 3 Things He Learned. I know this comment will, but Mark Ingram is basically Bruce Banner, okay?
Yeah.
He needs to get angry and become the Hulk for him to be productive.
The most productive games that Mark Ingram had last year was probably the biggest year of his career in New Orleans. And the best games that he had were the ones following him being benched for fumbling.
Yeah.
But one thing you have to bear in mind, number one, Sean Payton, I think that we all can agree, Sean Payton is coaching for his life now in New Orleans. Now, that being said, you're not talking about Timmy Hightower being the alternative if you don't do your job. You're talking about a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're talking about Adrian.
Yay!
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson being the alternative. Now,
I look like a Keenan Lewis jersey to me.
I'm not going to be one of these naysayers. I'm going to be one of these naysayers that says, "Oh, this is the end for Ingram." I'm not. That's not where I'm going at all. But if I just want you to entertain the thought process for a moment. If Adrian Peterson has anything even remotely left in the tank,
bonus.
You know,
got to go with the high end. And all that matters at the end of the day, 6 points, 6 points. If that comes from Travaris Cadet, if that comes from Mark Ingram, if it comes from Adrian Peterson, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that the points go on the board.
Amen.
And
well, you know, I was just gonna add real quick, Sean. You know, here's the thing. You know, we're going back to for the past couple of years, Ingram has been kind of the focal back. He has gotten the lion's share of the carries. He's gotten the lion's share of the touches. With Kamara coming on board, they're going to try and use him, obviously, in the passing game, but you've got to run him a little bit to throw off the defense. So that's touches. That's going to get taken away from Ingram. If Peterson can discover the fountain of youth and has a lot more left in the tank than a 32-year-old back would have, he's going to, vulture some touches, especially, near the goal line. So, this is going to be a challenging year for Ingram if the offense works the way we all hope it will. It'll be good for Saints fans. It'll be good for the team overall, but I think it's going to be a challenge for Ingram. And that's why I said you really need to have the Hulk in here, not Bruce Banner. You need to have an angry Ingram who feels the pressure of being pushed for his job, so he's making every carry count. Not that he gets careless, not that he gets sloppy with the ball like he did in Kansas City and against the Seahawks, but the back that we saw against the 49ers where he just blew through that hole, took off, went all the way in the end zone, threw the ball at the wall. Here's the sound guy with the bubble, and he goes and drops the F-bomb on national TV. But, that's what the fans want to see. They want to see that kind of Ingram. They want to see the passionate, give me the ball. I'm going to make these guys pay if you give me the ball. And that's what needs to have happen. And I think if he feels that pressure, I think that's the Ingram you were going to see. So it's a good situation all the way around. It's good competition for him.
I can't. Don't get me, like I said, I can't stress enough. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that Ingram is going to crumble to the pressure of being in the same backfield with an Adrian Peterson. I'm not saying that.
I'm not either.
But I am saying that there is a level that Mark Ingram is going to have to raise his game to, or else the point is going to be moot. The margin for error that Mark Ingram may have had with Timmy Hightower being his competition, it's disappeared.
It's gone.
Yeah,
That's true.
Again, you're talking about first about unanimous Hall of Fame as being the one, the alternative. If you fumble, me, Mr. Peterson, please. All that matters at the end of the day is win or lose.
yeah.
Matter who scores, who doesn't score. All that matters is win or lose.
I think Alan.
No, go ahead,
Sorry,
y'all.
you were trying to make a point.
Well, yeah, I think Alan's 100% right because we need that Hulk, Mark Ingram, especially with the first game of the season being in Minnesota. Adrian Peterson's going to get the chance to shine and to score. So we need that guy who's not going to take criticism poorly and is going to show up knowing that he's going to be behind the 8 ball. Especially after coming into week 1, everybody's going to be talking about Adrian Peterson. So I like the fact that if he shows up and
his bar is going to be set really early. Week 1.
He's going to have to be focused, and we'll know real soon if he is.
Oh, being on national TV Monday night. Yeah, I can't imagine what in Minnesota, what the intensity is going to be like in that game. Sure,
has to.
Here's another guy. I was going to say, here's another guy we have to watch for because Sean's asking a question, who do we think's in trouble? Here's a guy who's going to have to start showing up now is Colby Fleener because now that Brandon Cooks is gone, you've kind of lost the threesome you had with the receivers. You have Michael Thomas, who's going to be your number 1 guy, and you've got Willie Snead, who's really your possession, sneaky fast kind of guy, but he's going to he's going to be the guy who's going to have to move the chains. You got Kamara in there in the mix, but you need to have somebody who's going to step up, a third receiver that on 3rd down you can count on him to extend the drive and move the chains, and get those mismatches with linebackers and safeties. And, yes, Ted Ginn is in the mix, but I'm going to say it's got to be Fleener. You've got to see Fleener stretch those seam routes and stretch that middle of the field and make that defense pull back so the underneath routes open up for Kamara, so the running lanes open up, for all the running backs, because the receivers alone can't do it. You need to have that tight end. That's what made Jimmy Graham so special in this offense. And that's what's missing in this offense since Graham is gone. That one tight end who is a threat every time he touches the ball to not only get the first down, but to score.
Right.
And it's a mismatch for your linebackers and your safeties.
Yeah, also just being able to pull the linebackers in coverage, being able to do that. The only thing with Fleener, though, is I don't think there's much competition behind him. So I don't think Josh Hill can really take over. So it would be hard for him to lose the position that he's at. But it is a make or break season for him, definitely, I think.
Yeah. Well, with Hill and with Hooman, you're basically got.
Yeah, but I contacted this Harry, our friend Harry Hurstwitz. He did an article earlier this week about the relevancy of the whole Colby Fleener thing. I think that there's 2 things when it comes to Colby Fleener. Number 1, there was a level of expectations put up there.
Huge.
That he was never going to attain. And by that, I mean, number 1, at Jimmy Graham that was up here, and you bring in Colby Fleener. Colby Fleener is the same athlete. He's not the same physical presence as your Jimmy Graham. He struggled to understand and to comprehend, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, the playbook in Sean Payton offense. And when you look at that, you got to take a step back and also look at the fact that this is the first time him coming to New Orleans is the first time since he left high school that he's not been with that quarterback. He got to Stanford. He was with oh Lord,
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he roomed with the guy in college. You are a roommate starting quarterback. That kind of cutting a corner to understanding the playbook. Hey, on this type play in this situation, I'm okay. Hit me with it. All that being said, to New Orleans, you have to be a complete player. You have to understand the offense. You have to be able to digest that playbook. Okay, well, you had a year to try to do that. And towards the end of the season last year, I think you saw kind of an upswing in his productivity. So maybe that's better things to come in this coming season.
Yeah, I don't think he had a bad year, but I think the comparison or the expectation, I think, is for me, I don't think we were trying to set the expectation and try to match him up to Jimmy Graham. I think it was more of matching him to Ben Watson. Ben Watson had such a great year, and he was supposed to be bringing him in as an upgrade to Ben Watson, so he should at least be able to match those numbers. And I think that's where he fell short of that type of expectation. I didn't think he was going to come in and take over, you get Jimmy Graham numbers, but I was thinking he was an upgrade to Ben Watson. And Drew Brees is that type of player that he can make any tight end look good, any tight end. So you're going to expect him to do, to put up numbers.
I think the injuries to Hooman and to Hill also impacted him because now he has to stay in more and block. Then he can go out and, line up outside the numbers, run routes, attack the seams, and that sort of stuff. They needed him because they were down to basically guys that were signing off the street to play tight end with him. So, I mean, that's where Hill and Hooman really fit in. That's where they need to help him become more of a receiver, is you can trust Hill and Hooman to play those blocking positions, play the H-back kind of role, where, Fleener now can line up outside the numbers like Graham did, like Watson did, line up in the slot and so forth, and be more of the pass receiver instead of staying in the block the whole time. So, all that stuff is true.
I think that tight end, much along the same line as cornerback on the other side of the ball for the New Orleans a year ago, was basically survived by any means possible. With the cornerbacks, for example, you were down 7th and 8th men on the depth chart going into week 1. You were down to those people by the beginning of week 2. And much the same with tight ends. Fleener is the only guy that basically got through the season unscathed because Hooman had like a broken leg or blown knee or something. Josh Hill had something where he was out.
Josh Hill had the broken leg. Hooman was an ankle foot. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see not only with the tight ends but with the cornerbacks as well as to what they're going to bring to bear with maybe an entire group to choose from rather than one or two players.
What do you guys think about the cornerback position? Because we kind of touched on everything but cornerback and defensive line. What about the cornerbacks? Who do you see this is a make or break camp for, and who do you see needs to kind of rebound and really contribute this year?
I'll take this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think kind of like the linebackers where I think it's kind of wide open. Hopefully Bro can stay healthy. That would be your number one thing. Hopefully Lattimore week 1 is your number 2 cornerback. That would be ideal. And then after that, it's a free for all. Hopefully Crane Colley, PJ Williams. Moore had such a good season that we re-signed him. So it's a pretty. I like the depth that we have. It's really about staying healthy and
who's going to get on the field together and how you can package them to succeed.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to have an extra safety, you're going to play him more, or I just think who gels well together is gonna dictate who gets on the field and how that secondary is kind of run.
Yeah, I really just want them to stay healthy, and I really want to see hopefully one of the deeper guys, Crawley or PJ Williams, Damian Swan. Hopefully one of those guys can step up and have a really good year. That's who I'm hoping for, and then of course I want Lattimore to be what he is
expected to be.
Yeah, his expectations, just being that 11th pick and being drafted as the first cornerback should be a shutdown corner, and hopefully that's what he becomes.
Absolutely. I think this is a make-or-break camp for PJ Williams. I think he's the one that's got the biggest bullseye on his back, because I think Moore pretty much is going to be that nickel guy. So you're looking at, if Lattimore is the starter, PJ Williams is going to have to battle Moore to be the nickel back. Yeah. And, if he can't stay healthy, that's a problem. So that's what we need.
I think that you can put PJ Williams and Damian both in the same category.
Yep, definitely.
Alan, if you think back, this is something that I've said since week 17 of a year ago. You won't want the other of the makes will not make the roster. Either be Damian Swan or PJ Williams, but both will not. It just will not.
You want one of them to step up, though. You want one of them to be a sure thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, it seems, and this sounds real pessimistic, and I apologize for that, but it's going to be basically between PJ Williams and Damian Swan. It almost seems to be whoever gets hurt first goes.
I hope that's not the case. I really hope it's a case. We've got so much depth. We've got so much. They're all playing so well. It's a tough cut, and it's the last cut they make. And I really don't want to have to deal with injuries.
No more injuries.
I've already dealt enough with the plague. I think if we have another injury rash in our defense, I'm just going to play the Monty Python skit from the Holy Grail with Eric Idle. Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead! Because that's what it's going to be like in the Saints locker room, with injured players. You're going to see, I'm not dead yet. I feel better.
That's a good accent. That was really good.
I got in trouble in grade school for that movie, quoting it way too much.
I make a lot of jokes about it, but a year ago, on defense in secondary, what we suffered through, did work for one positive, if you want to look at it that way, because you have now, when you have Lattimore, when you have Bro, and to speak to the point that Rick made a few moments ago, I think that the entire cornerback unit is going to hinge on whether or not Delvin Rowe can be healthy. That being said, Lattimore's a rookie. You're not going to be able to throw him out and depend on him to be shut down for both sides. You're going to need a Bro and a Lattimore to make it work. Now, all that being said, a year ago, we faced, I guess you could call it the apocalypse for cornerbacks because, as mentioned earlier, you get down to the seventh or eighth position on the depth chart, bottom two. What you walk out the other end of that with guys like Tyrone Crawley, Sterling Moore, and a few others that I'm not mentioning. What you get is you have a lot of experience reserves. So
yeah,
a lot better than say you get to week 8 and you're 6-2, and you're looking at a pretty positive season. Well, you have to absorb a substantial injury cornerback. Well, now you can throw someone out there that has experience.
If we're 6-2 by week 8, I'd say we avoided the injury pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, haven't you heard?
That's
man?
Pretty damn.
Haven't you heard? We're going to win the Super Bowl.
We'll probably start 0-2 though. That would
no, don't say that.
No.
And then win 6 in a row.
Well, let's look at the last part because I don't care about kickers, and that's true for last year as well. But let's look at the last part. Let's look at defensive line. With our defensive line, obviously you got Cam Jordan. We have to make up for the hits, the pressures, and the sacks that Nick Fairley is taking with him to injured reserve. And I think Rankins can fill that void. But that also means we need to see something out of the reserves. We need to see something out of Davidson. And then we have to figure out who's going to be on that other side of Cam Jordan, that other defensive end. What do you guys see happening with this defensive line?
I think that's where, out of everyone, right next to offensive line, that's the part that we have the biggest question mark in, and that with losing Fairley, that becomes our biggest weakness. So it's really wide open. Again, you're hoping someone steps up at defensive tackle to play next to Rankins, and you're hoping we find somebody on, which seems we've been hoping for that forever. We've been looking for that forever, on the opposite of Cam Jordan. So yeah, it's like I said earlier. Hopefully it's Trey Hendrickson. That's who I'm rooting for, and hopefully he steps up. But just anyone to put some pressure on that line. I don't want to get run over anymore. And just the worst thing to watch, like we mentioned earlier, the worst thing to watch is a quarterback drop back and they're just standing there in a clean pocket. Being able to stand there being there for 5 seconds, 7 seconds, right, and taking their time to pick your secondary can be as good as ever. You can have the best secondary, but if the quarterback has all day to throw, they're going to find somebody.
Exactly. It feels like they're playing flag football when we're doing the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi count. Yeah, we're in trouble. It's not so much. This is going to sound sacrilegious, but I don't need sacks per se. I need pressure. I need to make that quarterback get off his spot. I need to make that quarterback get rid of that ball before he's ready. Because the way they defeat sacks is, and this is what the Falcons said to us both times we played them. It was they were getting rid of, and the Lions did too. They got rid of the ball so quickly. It was like 1, 2, boom, it's gone. So. Again, just like you were saying with the secondary, you can have Reggie White, Mean Joe Green, Lawrence Taylor, and Charles Haley and linebackers rushing the quarterback. But unless you have a secondary that can jump those underneath routes and you can get that pressure where that quarterback's got to, hesitate for a second, and then he feels the pressure and gets rid of the ball before he wants to. That's the only way you're really going to win in this league, and that's the only way you're going to get those all-important turnovers, which I think is the difference between winning and losing in the end.
Yep,
No.
definitely.
Chiefs, who I do not consider them offensively now. Defensively is another story, but offensively, I don't consider them a very talented team. They've got good players. They've got some pretty good running backs, but they've got a very average to mediocre quarterback. They really don't have much in the receiving core outside of that one speedster. And they got a pretty good tight end, but they don't have, if you put a man-to-man with most teams in the NFL, it's not a whole lot of talent. But the reason why they consistently win in that turnover battle, and their defense is constantly putting that offense in good positions where the offense can score, and that's how they win ball games. And that's how we lost to the Chiefs this past year. It's because we fumbled the ball on a potentially a game-changing drive. We don't give up the turnovers, and the Chiefs aren't in that ball game. So more out of this defense, and I think that's why for the secondary and defensive line more so than the linebackers, because those are the two areas that really have to force the turnovers. We have to see that the secondary get their hands on the ball and take it away, and we need to see that defensive line put pressure on the quarterback
to make them throw it a little quicker,
to make them up for grabs. Where Sean?
Yes, sir.
And nodding.
I'm answering emails.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you in your.
Yeah, well,
Natasha from Russia can wait. I don't care how much she says she's an attractive girl. You don't have to answer her right away.
No. Loyal followers know that as we go through this program, I try to stay involved and stay in the live chat, and that's what I'm doing. You made me lose my train of thought.
You think about
it was either him or Natasha, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, let me just say, I think as far as the secondary, Marcus Williams, he comes from what we say on our pod, the Ball Hawk University for Safeties,
Sure.
University of Utah. The long list of safeties, Eric Weddle, and that's about it. But he's got a chance with just to come in there and if he can make plays, create those turnovers.
If he's that ball hawk that everyone says,
what everybody's saying he is, man. If you can just get a little bit of pressure from the offensive line, the defensive line, that's just going to make their job so much easier and make our year as fans so much better.
Yep.
So
they're going to be looking at Marcus Williams to be that, dare I say, I can't do that because people get offended. That Darren Sharper role.
Oh. No, you need
I don't remember.
Sharper.
People can say
there's no way to get around it. You need to have a Darren Sharper.
People can say what they want, and please, all jokes aside, I do not make light of what this guy did off the field. I think he should be put under the jail, shot in the eye with hypodermic needles, so on and so forth. I don't make light of what the guy did off the field. On the field, that 2009 Super Bowl run by the New Orleans Saints does not happen without Darren Sharper being a part of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can grill me, you can fry me, whatever, but it is what it is.
No,
the Saints.
We're talking football.
Much like I see two roles on the New Orleans Saints team, on defense and on offense. On defense, it's that Darren Sharper role. You have searched for someone to fill that role since he left.
We need
and
a
on offense,
Vilma role covered also. That's the other huge one.
Yeah, and that's what AJ Klein is supposed to be able to do. He's supposed to be someone. He may not have the physical talent of Vilma. In fact, I know he doesn't have the physical talent of Vilma. But if he can be that leader and read the defense like Vilma could, and read the offense and set the defense like Vilma could, that would be a tremendous asset because he provides that leadership role that you guys talked about at the very beginning that's needed on that defense to get that team organized, because that's where Stephon Anthony struggled on the mental side of the game. We've got a physical, talented player in Donnell Ellaby, but he can't stay healthy. And then you're kind of stuck with, Craig Robertson's a good player, but he's physically limited, but he can put himself at least in good positions. And then a whole lot of guys that are just trying to compete for a job like Manti Te'o and so forth.
But like how Sean is saying, though, we do need someone in that secondary, and hopefully Williams can be that guy that can cause turnovers in the secondary.
Exactly.
And
we need to have those turnovers.
By the same token, if you look at the other side of the ball, ever since that guy left here, everybody that even remotely considered being black and gold has screamed, we need that Darren Sproles type. Well, you just drafted him. The closest thing to Darren Sproles since Darren Sproles was a New Orleans Saints is Alvin Kamara.
Hopefully he's a Darren Sproles / Pierre Thomas. That's who I'm hoping he becomes.
Yeah,
because we're missing someone since Pierre Thomas also.
Yeah, there is no one, and I look back over the colorful history of this team. There is no one that ran the swing pass like Pierre Thomas.
Beautiful.
Ever.
Yeah.
If you need further evidence of that, look up the video to Super Bowl
44.
Super Bowl XLIV.
That'd be a 44.
All these damn Roman numerals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Game changer.
There's been no one to fill that role in this offense. There's been you had Reggie Bush, which carved out a niche of his own. I'm not going to say that he was more or less than Pierre Thomas. Pierre Thomas was unchallenged in the capacity that he held in this offense. I do believe.
Bush helped us on that Cardinals game. Definitely, he helped us get to that Super Bowl. But yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Guys, thank you so much for being a part of our 1-year anniversary show.
Thank you for having us.
I can't tell you how much it means to me for you guys to be here.
Has it been an hour already?
Actually, it has been. Yeah.
Wow.
9:05. Well, it's what 6:05 your time. 7:05.
Still sunny.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go to the beach after this.
Oh, you rat bastard!
Y'all still got time to go to the Sunset Strip. Y'all still got time to go to the Sunset Strip. I'm jealous. Please, if you would, tell everyone how they can follow not only your show. And before I go any further, I want to tell you guys, please feel free on our Under the Dome podcast page on Facebook. Please share your podcast, links to access your podcast, and so on and so forth. But also, if you wouldn't mind telling our people how they can follow you on Twitter, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah,
this is your time.
Yeah, first and foremost, we want to thank you guys.
Cheers to your 1 year anniversary.
And happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Hopefully we'll be able to be doing and celebrating the same thing in about 50 weeks from now.
Yeah, but no, we're basically we're at SaintsCraftRadio on all our platforms: Twitter, Instagram, iTunes. The podcast. Just look us up, SaintsCraftRadio on Spreaker, and that's how you can get a hold of us with the show, and leave us some comments, and we always put some questions out on social media to get the fans involved and yeah, so we're just a couple guys out here on the left coast, a new Saint and an old Saint, and we're talking football. What else? It's great.
It's a life.
It was great.
What happened? What's wrong with him? What happened to you?
I have no idea, but I love it.
He's like on his third Gatorade. I think that might.
I don't know. I think that
on the left.
I think that
on the left
Gatorade is kicked in.
Oh, it was the left coast. That's what, that's what it was.
Absolutely.
That's what it
was. The left coast got me, bud.
There you go.
There you go. Well, great,
guys. Rick, Toots, I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of our 1 year anniversary. We hope that we can bring you guys back sometime soon.
Anytime.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
Alan, it's all on you.
Yes, sir.
Bring us home.
Well, we actually managed, not only did we stay an hour, or a little over an hour, I think we managed to cover every bit of topic that I've got on this list.
Right.
The only thing we didn't talk about is a breakthrough player. So, do I have one?
Do you have
Kamara.
Yeah. Kamara, yes. I am
there you
go. Trademark the term Kamara bra, because if every time he hits the ball, because that's got to be the phrase, Hey man, who scored? Kamara, bro.
Yeah.
Well, it's perfect for us over here in California.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
It's Dublin, bro.
I've got Big Hill.
Big Hill, yeah. I think, but I really do. I think he's going to be an impact on special teams, and also as a third down back. I think he's going to have not a Michael Thomas kind of rookie year, but I think he's going to be one of those players where people are going to really be excited when he touches the ball and to see what he does. So I'm counting on him beating Atlanta. In fact, last week I think I said it. Now I'm going to say it again every week. But I'm really hoping that when we play Atlanta, we beat them 28-3. I really, really want to do it, especially in their stadium.
Yeah. Oh man!
I'd love for the rematch. The entire dome to be filled with people wearing T-shirts or hats or whatever, saying 28-3, and just that's on TV the whole time. It's got to be.
It's got to be. Even if we lose 28-3.
No, we're not going to lose 28-3. We're not losing to those Falcons. Are you kidding me? We are not losing to the Falcons. We are going to take it to the Falcons. That's how you have to look at it.
That's right.
We could go 2-14, but as long as we beat the Falcons both times, it's a good season.
That's right. Rick, Toots, how can these guys follow you on social media?
Yeah, I'm
so at SaintsCraftRadio is really our platform.
That's our platform. I'm at SaintsCraftToots, SaintsCraftToots@gmail.com.
And I'm at Rick Aints SD. Rick Aints SD.
Yeah, but basically SaintsCraftRadio.
But SaintsCraftRadio.
Yeah, that's all. That's all of our platforms. So that's how you can follow us.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being a part of our 1 year anniversary. We wish you guys the best of luck. If there's anything that we can do along the way, please feel free to call on us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
so much.
Awesome.
All right,
Alan.
Okay.
It's been a year,
yes, sir.
Man. Can you believe it?
I know. I missed my cue earlier today because I was going to play this when we started this show, and I can't believe I missed it. I've had it queued up the whole time. Now, you have to be an old man like me to know what song this is, but this is Happy Anniversary by Little River Band. So, you know,
I knew
it's
it.
just one of those. Oh, okay. But I just did not get a chance to play that earlier. And unfortunately, since I have to go through my computer instead of my phone, it's not nearly as impressive sounding as, like, say, the Sanford and Son theme.
One of the most absolute talented bassist ever to put on a 4-stringer. That guy is got skills, I promise you.
Okay. I gotta let you. I'll make you listen to some. Before he became known as a ballad singer, I have to let you listen to Peter Cetera play on Chicago 5, and you listen to those bass lines he came up with.
Oh,
and,
yeah. He was a very, very gifted bass player before he became a singer.
Yeah. I mean, this is my other side. I talk music too. I can't play music. I cannot sing, but I love music. So I talk. You know, you guys talk beer. I can talk music for a while.
I got the air drums.
Yeah, and there we go. Hey, man, that's what I'm like in the car. You know.
I have to gloat. I got to live out my rock and roll dreams to a certain extent, so to speak. I've gotten to open for
Pantera.
Lillian Axe, Pantera, Foghat.
Nice.
Slow Ride. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was standing backstage, and I sit and I watch these guys, and I'm going, they're old as my dad. We're fixing to blow their ass off the stage. And it took me about 15 seconds before I was like, so yeah, humility is
important.
Yeah, you forget.
People don't get to be 90 years old and playing stuff that everybody knows by accident.
No.
Respect must be paid.
Yeah. So
thank you
anyway,
guys.
Thank you all for joining us for this anniversary show. We went over as always. Glad you guys joined us. And hey, man, next week we'll have the rookies already been in the camp for a week. The veterans will be getting ready to report, and we are on the eve of training camp. So we hopefully have a little something more to talk about what the rookies may have done, whatever the media is going to allow. I mean, whatever the Saints are going to allow the media to do. Oh, real quick. This Saints training camp's a little bit different from what you've seen in the past. It's the first one back in New Orleans in 3 years, but they are going to only open, I believe, the weekend practices to the public. I think the weekday practices are going to be closed to the public. And the way I read it earlier today was they're going to be giving these guys tickets to go to practice. You don't buy the tickets. You can't buy them because if they sell them, you actually can go in and film stuff and do all kinds of other things.
Scouts can show up.
Exactly. So, but they're going to limit the amount of people who can go to practice. So my understanding is on the Friday, the practices on Friday are for season ticket holders only. On Saturday, it's for people who are on the waiting list for season tickets. And then Sunday, the 21st, I think that's right. I have to go look at my calendar again. Sunday is, I'm totally screwing up my thing. You get to see everything in my house here. Yeah, Sunday the 23rd, sorry. Sunday the 23rd, that is the practice that is for the great unwashed, the general masses. That is actually the practice that people are going to be invited in. They can see whatever they want. So
we'll be up in Costa Mesa actually to watch the Saints practice
exploded.
with. Yeah, he was holding it as long as possible, and that was hilarious.
Well, that's what happens when you drink that craft beer. You know, you can only hold it for so long.
He has a bladder.
Hey.
He has a walnut-sized bladder.
There we go. There we go.
But we're gonna go to the. We got our tickets yesterday to go see the Saints practice against the Chargers in Costa Mesa. So we'll have some updates there. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to watch the preseason game because that's our day for our. You've been drinking a lot of Gatorade, but that's going to be our fantasy draft. So we're going to actually miss the game.
Oh.
But we'll be there during practice, so we'll give you guys some updates of what we see. Also,
yeah, we'll be in practice.
Okay? Yeah, there you go. Everything came out okay. That's all that's important.
Hey, Toots, always got to keep the jug handy.
Hey, man, there you go. There you go.
Notes for next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all so much.
I got to go down too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
There you go. All right. Good night, guys.
Bye.
And thank you everybody for watching. See you guys next time on Under the Dome. Good night, everybody.